everybody, you're welcome to this conversation about your experience on the She Soars program. Very excited to have you today. I am Juliet from Uganda.
Jeremiah from Zambia.
Amanda from Uganda.
This is Alvin from Kenya.
Welcome to this Youth Power Podcast.
Around the world, out-of-school adolescent girls continue to be excluded from traditional sexual and reproductive health and rights (SRHR) programming. They are among the hardest to reach, despite facing some of the greatest barriers to accessing essential health services. In places like urban informal settlements in Kenya, rural areas of Zambia, and refugee host communities in Uganda, progress in SRHR laws and health system strengthening often hasn't translated into real change for these girls. As a result, they remain vulnerable, navigating complex social norms and limited access to health services. She Soars, funded by Global Affairs Canada, is a multi-year initiative working to change that. With a focus on increasing SRHR information and services for adolescent girls, especially those out of school, the project is not only delivering services, but also shifting harmful social norms. At the heart of this work is youth leadership. Through the She Soars Youth Advisory Board, YAB, young people have played a critical role in shaping the program, from co-designing interventions to ensuring youth voices guide decision-making.
Once again, you're welcome. And I'd like to start with you, Jeremiah. What motivated you to join the She Soars program?
I had so many motivations to join the project. Firstly, being that I had worked with other organizations in Zambia who were doing work around sexual and reproductive health, but sort of at a national level. So the She Soars project, for me, being in Eastern and Southern Africa, helped me widen my advocacy to the regional level, to interact with so many different young people, and also for personal and professional development, because I knew that stepping into a team of different, partners, different individuals, getting to travel the country, getting to travel the region, I'll definitely learn so much and then learn certain things that I didn't know that needed to be left behind. So that was the motivation. But the motivation also stems from, deep-rooted passion to speak, to advocate for young people, and including myself, because I believe that young people should not only be viewed as beneficiaries in matters affecting them.
Amazing. And you, Alvin, what was your motivation?
Speaking about the fact that this was actually a regional space, for me to use the skills as well as, the specific skills, the information, and the power to help this program to actually make, the key things in terms of, the decision on laws, right? And specific key things to see how actually we have the young people, throughout the spaces and such kind of thing. Yeah, was very key for myself. Yeah.
Great. And you, Amanda?
I would sum my experience or my journey in the words of Beyonce Knowles' song, I Was Here. I wanted to leave my footsteps in the sands of time. But going into the nitty-gritties, given my background as a young girl growing up in a family that had domestic violence, gender-based violence, and the gender disparities, I had a drive in me to help young people, to support young people, to see them change and go through what I have been going through. And that found me as I was already in the space as a youth leader in the Family Planning 2030 space. And so when the call was launched, I was like, I think this is another opportunity for me to leave my footsteps in the sands in Uganda. So I did apply, and I think that's why I'm here today. And I've seen the She Soars project transition and also shift young people's dreams, something that I've always yearned to see, and that has been my motivation.
Yeah. Great, amazing. And back to you, Jeremiah. Talk to us more about your experience on this program, but in particular, what do you see as your greatest contribution on the program?
It's been quite an experience, Juliet, and I struggle to find the words to describe it. I don't think there's a single word to describe my experience on the project, because it's been nothing I ever imagined. You speak about one of my greatest contributions. I think it's just, reigniting and changing the mindset of not only youth. On the side of youth, it's making youth believe that it's possible. Because of so many challenges that we're facing as humanity, there's just this lack of hope, and especially in youth. And I find that so worrying, because we are the so-called future leaders, as we've come to, believe and be told. But imagine a future leader who has no hope, a future leader whose spirit is down. So one of my greatest accomplishments has been to go to the project sites and remind the young people that you're so much more than what you're told. You're so much more than where you are right now and what you believe. And we've seen that change, begin to happen over time. How young people are stepping up and saying, we want to do more for our communities. We want to do more for ourselves.
Great. Amazing. I think we are hearing lots of contributions around giving hope to young people, ensuring that they actually do understand the program, what it's all about, and the value that it will contribute in their lives. But I also hear you say quite a lot around the influence on youth organizations and the work that you've done in that area. Amanda, when you look at the She Soars program systems broadly, what do you think, what has been your main contribution when it comes to influencing the system in the area of meaningful youth engagement?
First of all, the project has given me a platform as a young leader to be able to impact on other young people, other youth in the communities. Like the She Soars has the structure of the youth advocacy structures, advisory structures, yes. And this is a group of amazing young people that have this platform to exercise their rights and bring out their real selves. I was invited to facilitate a training on smart advocacy and advocacy in general to the YAS groups in the YAS that are youth advisory structures in the West Nile region, where one of the implementing areas, and Kampala. And I think one of my proudest moments was going back after the training and finding some of the young people that I trained, that we trained, vying for political seats in the district. That sort of inspired myself as well. I'm like, yes, I did a good job there. And they are now very vocal, very practical, very active in the district. They speak and the district heads listen. The other thing I can say is we've had the community scorecard activity rolling out in the different implementation areas. One of the things that struck me, and also one of the proudest moments, was when we sat with the district leaders of Terego, and they told us that they had adopted the community scorecard of the She Soars project to work as a tool for the district programming. And these young people are also taking up leadership positions, something that they didn't have the courage before. But because they've taken up these trainings and they've been inspired by people like us, and now they are there, it means that they are passing on the knowledge and the power to their fellows.
It's really a lot of great impact. You've talked about young people leading advocacy now, young people's leadership skills, enhanced. You're talking about changes in systems in how the district works with young people. Yeah. I think it would be good to learn from you what has been that secret sauce, what uniqueness in the methodologies and the approach.
I would say let's add in some spices of cinnamon, black pepper.
Exactly.
But no, on a serious note, the uniqueness, I think, in the project is that programs are brought and they engage the stakeholders, but we leave the stakeholders to own them.
Ownership.
And the ownership. When we brought up the community scorecard, we did not keep it as a project or as partners. Yeah. We let the local people own the community scorecard and roll it out themselves. That alone, I think, gave the district leaders, the community leaders, that power, that they have the power to change their own narratives. Yeah. That is something that that is going to sustain the activity of community scorecard and also other activities that have been rolled out through the project. So that is the spice, I would say, that when we bring out some things or program or activities, let them give them back to the communities, to the leaders, let them own them so that they can take the responsibility and be accountable for that.
When you think about the She Soars program, actually, is we have seen how the young people, if you resource, speaking about the key things which actually we have done, right, from Kenya, which we are actually very, very, very proud of, is three key things. Yeah. The first key thing is we have remained present across the whole space, and this means that throughout the spaces, we have seen that we do have a youth, throughout the space, because like when you think about it, spaces for one, reporting, right? Whereby probably you will see that probably we do not have the face and the voice of the youth, right? We are there. Number two, the key thing which we have seen and we are actually so probably grateful for is the voice that we have received. Of course, from the host, from the partners and such kind of things. And then the last key thing which we have done, which is super, super good, is we have tried to create more spaces for the young people, right? Because one, like if you think about it, we do have the youth, the advisory, the structures, whereby we do have more, youths all the way from the grassroots level who will now, speak about the work, right? And such kind of things, right? And then we do have the youth-led organizations who will actually speak more on the legal frameworks, right? Mm-hmm. Which to me, that all the work which we have done for the last 4 years will actually be part of legal frameworks, right?
Yeah, thank you so much for speaking towards, your contributions that you've made to the program, some of the key results that you have witnessed. Perhaps you could, share with us what is that one biggest achievement in your country that you're proud of?
The project has empowered the young people. There's a time when teenage pregnancy was on a rise. We're at 25, now it's at 24. And then teenage mothers all over the country had no hope of ever being something. And you would find a teenage mother and ask her, so what are your dreams or what are your aspirations? And they'll tell you, I'm just going to sit home, wait for my husband to bring and provide or give birth and all that. And then you see that there's no hope, like Jeremiah spoke to hope. But now with the She Soars, many girls are so happy, they are capacitated, they are thriving, they can do products through the skilling programs they have been trained under. They are having amazing products, beautiful bags, beautiful crafts. Others are making soap. You can just be proud, just feel the moment. And, it's something that I can't explain the feeling I get, but it's amazing seeing them, that they have now the power to charge and make their own decisions and not only wait for the man to come and, order them around. And now they can even make their own choices. When she gets sick, she can take her child to the hospital. She can afford a beautiful and different lifestyle. The other thing is that is for the girls in Kampala in the central region where the project is also being implemented. In the West Nile region, you find girls, there's a particular story of a girl. She was 15, I think around 15, she was under 18. She saved money through the YSLA groups and she built a house.
Amazing.
Nice.
Many 30-year-olds don't own houses, and so she built a house, she roofed her home, and she was paying her fees going back to school. She was those stories are the stories that give me goosebumps, because I'm like, yes, those are the moments I tap myself. I'm like, thank you. We've caused the change that we want to see. It's not like the change you wake up and you just change someone's life, but there are small steps and you see how someone evolves over time and becomes different. There's one of the community-based trainers that also based in the West Nile, I think Terego district, particularly Omadiokolo, one of the two. She had dropped out of school and she was, I think, at O-level when she dropped out. She got pregnant and she couldn't go back to school. But when the project took her on as a community-based trainer, she was able to send herself to school. She's now doing computer science and she's so happy. Wow. She rides a motorbike for business. And when you find the girl on the road, you can say, oh my God, I'm not going to say anything to her or even diss her or tease her. She commands the power. She commands the authority now because of She Soars. And that is something that I can't take back or neither of the partners. We're just proud of such stories.
Amazing.
Juliet, I spoke about inclusive language. So when Amanda said YSLA, in my head, I'm thinking, please interpret that, Amanda.
What does that mean again? Right?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm inspired just by hearing from some of the experiences from Uganda.
Yeah.
Greatest success story, Zambia, Marina. I know people would be wondering, what do you mean, Marina? Marina is a true demonstration of what youth leadership can do. Because I remember at the time, Marina came from the district where we were implementing. She participated in the youth-led research. She was a social analysis and accountability facilitator, and just a young person who was passionate about what was happening in her group. And then out of the little interactions we had, I had an opportunity to motivate, and I told her, look, you can be so much more than where you are right now. I come from a place very similar like where you are at the time. And she took those words really, really personal, started investing in herself. And because of the structures that the project has created, today she sits on the youth advisory board.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, for Team Zambia, one of our greatest wins.
Wow.
That
Amazing. And we are so lucky to have Marina here. Please come and say hi.
Come say hi. Hi, everyone.
That's Marina for you.
Yeah, so there's that. It's ensuring that young people are able to elevate, are able to move, and kudos to you, Restless Development, because you always ensure that you put in structures where young people can elevate. I mean, you're powered by young people. We're powered by young people. So it's when we have stories like these that we're really, really proud of, and everyone in Zambia is really proud of that.
Yeah.
Great. Amazing.
Yeah, so for us in Kenya, probably again, I'll try to be brief with two key things, right? So because we joined this program back in 2021, I think December, thereabouts. So of course, it's been 4 years, and we joined this program, we were actually green, we did not have skills on how to probably, to even like speak and probably to even like do small key things like one, how to do a work plan for a project, how to go and do a report for a project, right? And such kind of things. So when you think about the 4 years in terms of what we have received, all the skills in terms of probably like how to also present, in front of, right? Like people, of partners and such kind of things. And if you think about it, all of this, key things and skills probably we have now will go a long way with us, which actually will mean that when we go, like out and we apply for more key things, it means we will use all the skills we got from the She Soars program. And then two is how we have spoken about the aspect of the meaningful youth, the engagement. Because now the key things from one, the principles, the values and such kind of things are actually clear to the partners in the program. So which means that the aspect of meaningful youth, the engagement across the program has been strengthened through us, through all the partners who shared, skills, the information and the tools as well, for them to see to it that when we actually leave is that we'll actually have a specific kit for them to know how to actually do it. The A to Z on meaningful youth engagement. We are extremely, extremely proud of that. And we're very happy to actually be part of this program.
Juliet, if you'll allow me, just one quick point. We as a project have been very deliberate about ensuring that we do not exploit young people. What do I mean by this? If you've been around the block in terms of advocacy and working with so many non-profits for a very long time, realize that the remuneration of the efforts of young people is so downplayed. And it's so sad, right? In these different countries, you have young people committing their time, their energy, their skills in these organizations. And even when they can pay sometimes, they tend not to pay. And even when they pay, they underpay. But we have fortunately not suffered anything like that on the She Soars project. We have been always remunerated rightly. Every time we were moved from one place to another, we're taken care of. And that shows the commitment that one, the donor has.
Exactly.
And kudos to Global Affairs Canada for ensuring that is done. But secondly, it's also the partners, Restless Development, Care International, the Center for Reproductive Rights, and the local partners as well. Ensuring that young people are not exploited and that the time, the effort that they are putting in is appreciated. And that is bearing fruit, by the way. Because we have members, for example, of the Youth Advisory Board who are able to take care of themselves, who are able to further their higher education, who are able to do businesses. I'm sitting here as a proud graduate, recently graduated. And it's because I was able to take myself to school because of the money that I was earning from the project. And we're seeing other members as well also take that same direction and say, whilst we're doing the work, it's better that we further our education as well. Now, imagine if we had a situation where There's so many other young people who sit on boards, but they don't get paid. Yeah, so this is why the project has had so many best practices. And for organizations that may be listening right now who would want to know how this is done, please reach out to the relevant personnel and we're happy to share.
Exactly, yeah.
Great. Yes. Thank you so much for raising that, your experience around meaningful youth engagement.
Yeah.
It is at the center of what we do as Restless development, but also I know it has been a core area of the She Soars program.
Yeah.
From your experience, what is that one tip you would give to the partners out there on meaningful youth engagement?
I was actually speaking about this the other day. Meaningful youth engagement should not be easy. It shouldn't be easy, and it will never be easy, and that's why it's worth it. You know, there's always an expectation that it's going to be easy, to a point where when you approach a partner and say, oh, I'm thinking about A, B, C, and D, immediately they say, can we put that on a parking lot and think about it? You're demotivated and you'll go back and sleep. And the same thing with the partner. When they reach out to Jeremiah and say, Jeremiah, we're having this activity next week. Can you come through? Immediately Jeremiah says, no, I can't come through because I have school. Then they are demotivated and say, no, young people don't appreciate our efforts. Meaningful youth engagement is not easy. It will never be easy because it's bringing two different worlds together. Remember that there are adults who've gone before us. You lived in a different time, Juliet. It was never like this. And then there's this current generation that is in the era of social media. We know so much that's well informed. And you're trying to bring these two worlds together. It's like trying to bring fire and water together. You don't expect that will be a seamless process. There'll be friction, there'll be misunderstanding, but that's okay. That's the work that we signed up for. So the tip is that meaningful youth engagement should not be easy. It will never be easy, and that's why it's worth it. And that is why every time it's not easy, do not stop. Keep going because you're making progress. For meaningful youth engagement, there's no destination, right? There's just milestones that you reach along the journey.
And then you learn and adapt as you go.
Exactly.
Alvin,
I
what's
cooked
your...
Good job, yeah, you really cooked. I love the taste of, I think one key tip that will be extremely important for myself, which actually we have seen and I have seen, is when you actually ensure that young people are resourced. Resource the space, the young people. Of course, like this will be from one, you ensure that the skills that they will actually need is that one, you have them, right? That the spaces for them to actually, speak and do their work, right? And such kind of things is that we have them for them. Number 3, which is extremely important, please, resourcing the young people also in terms of financial resource. Because for us to actually do the work, for me to go to the field, right? For me to go, from point A to point, Z and such kind of things, it means resourcing. So I hope that more and new spaces, which will actually want to ensure meaningful youth engagement, which is actually a process, is done. Is that you ensure that the young people that you have them within the program are resourced. Yeah.
Perfect.
Great. Amanda.
They have said it all, but what I can say, the one tip I'll share with partners out there and all who are listening in. I'll start with a story. We used to sit with my mother and she would tell me how in her times when she used to go to school, she would go with 2 dresses. She would wear one dress during the night, one dress at night. She washes the one she wears during the night. It dries and then she puts it on the next day. And I would tell her, but Mom, times have evolved. You could do that in your time then. I cannot survive with only 2 dresses. So I need a wardrobe. And that's the same thing I would give to the partners. Sit with the young people. Listen to them because their context is different from yours. Their experiences are different. What you imagine or think that you went through is what, and you think that that's what they are going through, it's different. Do not assume or plan for them without them. Nothing for us without us.
Yay! You really cooked now. Nice one.
Great. So I think I would like us now to take our experience from Zambia, from Uganda, from Kenya, to the outside world.
Yes.
Sexual reproductive health and rights challenges affect young people globally.
Yeah.
So from your experience, your 4 years experience on She Soars program, you've been interacting with young people on a daily
Exactly.
basis.
Yeah.
What do you want the world to know about adolescent sexual reproductive health and rights in your country? And why do you want them to know this?
What I want Zambians to know about sexual and reproductive health and rights from the Zambian perspective is that young people are not asking for too much. Right to health is a right, and the right to health ensures that young people have equal access to sexual and reproductive health and rights.
From myself in Kenya, my one message, the world, globally, will be programs like this actually on She Soars have been here, within the last 4 years, have strengthened the laws within, the states we are from. We have seen that actually reproductive health, key things in terms of the skills, the information and the services have actually gone up, right? To actually speak and mean that actually programs like this have strengthened, the systems and such kind of, places. So we'd like to thank, the Global Affairs, the Canada team, for all the great work that actually this regional program, because we do not have regional programs, like so much. So this program has actually strengthened, laws, frameworks, the access to the services, the information.
I would love the whole world to know about Uganda's adolescent sexual reproductive health and rights is it has evolved.
Yeah.
Young people can now speak about family planning without having opposition. Also, although we still have gaps in the system somewhere, somehow, but the change is visible. Young people now can have access because of the advocacy work and efforts that have been put through. And young people have a voice now. We have organizations like Restless Development that has been already acknowledged, that has given a platform for young people, restless young people.
Youth power.
And there's the platform, the Youth Collective, and where young people are so vibrant and they speak and they, share their experiences. But our young people are so energetic. They're so vibrant. They're so open-minded. They are willing to work.
Yeah.
Please.
I think it's really clear that the impact that has been generated is real.
Yeah.
You've touched the lives of young people. You've influenced CSOs to change systems and the way they work with young people.
Yeah.
You've influenced policies, the way you've been working with local government structures. So we do join you in celebrating that success. So as we conclude, what are your final thoughts?
A huge thank you. I mean, sitting on this platform, there are probably people who are thinking they did all of this on themselves, right? It was absolutely not us. Let me take this opportunity to thank the 3 chief of parties who we've worked closely with, Rebecca, Davidson, Sianga, and Lynn now, and the entire PMU team as well. We've worked so closely with them.
Yeah.
I think they were one of the first few partners to really understand what the youth advisory structure, the youth advisory board was all about. And they created that space for us to, just go and dialogue when we had an issue, we could work with them. But also most importantly, the project teams, the program managers, the program coordinators, the program officers, because those are the people who are implementing on the ground. Those are the people who are making our dreams, our aspirations a reality. And it's been wonderful. It's been beautiful. This journey hasn't been without its challenges. And I would also like to take this opportunity to say thank you to the Youth Coalition, because they started this. Before we knew anything about the Youth Advisory Board, they were first there. They brought us on. And also for Restless Development, having taken us up, we have given you so many headaches. I know. But it's been a journey.
It's part of the journey.
Exactly. And you
It's meant to be easy.
Exactly. And I like how you just always so chill about it. It's like you're almost saying, they're gonna come down. So it's been an amazing journey. Thank you so much for an opportunity like this one. These are not things that happen every other day, so we shouldn't act like that. We should always be grateful. And to the team that's staying behind, keep the momentum. Do more than we did. Learn from the lessons. and build on that. Have your own identity as a youth advisory board, be known for something. And I look forward to collaborating with the She Soars project sometime in the future. We were dancing to a song yesterday when one of our sessions ended. We were saying, no matter where you go, remember the road that leads you home. And this is home for us, so we'll always be here.
I think for myself is to thank all the partners, starting from all the partners in Kenya who have ensured that actually the work is actually done, right? To the host, right? We have not had a very, smooth journey, right? And this speaks to how meaningful youth engagement is actually a process, right? In terms of what the young people want, right? And what, is there and present, right? So we'd like to also thank the host who have actually been very great at all the work, because in trying to actually speak and work with 6 young people from 3 states with, with crazy things, and wishes and minds, right? And then to all the partners, of course, in Uganda, in Zambia, for all the great work, which actually I'm pretty sure, from the end term, the results, we will see the great key things which all the partners from the 3 states have done, right? For the new team, actually, for the next 3 years, ensure that you protect the gains.
Yeah.
Protect the gains, right? Because, we do not want now to speak here, probably like at the end of the project, which probably we might lose, specific key things which, we have done. So we wish you well. And we do hope that that actually the next 3 years will actually be a very smooth ride. Yes, hopefully. Yeah.
In addition to acknowledging those that have been mentioned already, I'd like to add on Sarah from Care Canada.
Yes.
To add on, UNICEF from Youth Coalition. We made those people cry.
It's not big.
When I sit back and remember the tears back in Nairobi for the all partners, UNICEF at some point cried because meaningful youth engagement was not coming out as we were expecting. And then we kept having the back and forth. And at some point, she would go in the corner and cry. I'll be like, okay. Shout out to all the people that have shed their tears for us. Evelyn from Care Uganda, we've shared a lot. And I don't take all this for granted. The support you've given to me and to Patrick before, please accord the same support and the same guidance, the same listening ear, the same help to the next team that's coming after us. They're equally having the same energy.
Exactly.
So they found the foundation well laid. So, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be simple or easier.
Yeah.
They might have more energy than we had. So please don't dry the tears so fast. There might be more tears. I'm not saying that they will. A very big thank you to Restless Development. I remember visiting their office for the first time and they gave me tea and they were telling me sit in the boardroom. I didn't come to sit in the boardroom, but they were so very welcoming and accommodative. Please keep that spirit with all the young people, not just because we are the board, but every young person, because we represent the majority.
Exactly.
So treat them the same way. The talent is in that hidden, that fearful girl, that shy boy, but the big picture is behind that young person. So do not look only at Jeremiah, at Alvin, at Amanda, but look at the Marys out there, the Johns that come to you in case they're coming to ask for assistance, support. Sit with them, listen to them, find solutions together.
Yeah.
And to all the partners out there, people who have money, please, let's have a She Soars extension. We need a She Soars 2. I believe that I know the donor space is shrinking and it's narrowing the more, and then there's a new word, domestic resource mobilization. I believe that partners in country can pull resources together and we can have a She Soars 2, 3, 4, name it, and can continue. So let us not only look at 2028 closing She Soars and say, oh, it's done. We can evolve with the times and we can have more impact done. Thank you.
Amazing.
It's been a pleasure.
And continue investing in the lives of
Young people.
of young people.
Yeah.
Well, just to say thank you so much, first of all, for choosing to be part of She Soars, for your commitment, for bringing your full self in each and everything, including this podcast. We thank you. We celebrate the achievements that we have achieved together with you. And to our audience, I hope you've been inspired by the amazing stories. I hope you have seen what happens when we trust young people to lead. And yeah, let's continue trusting youth power.
She Soars.
A big congratulations to Amanda, Alvin, and Jeremiah. We wish them all the best as they take on their next chapter. And that brings us to the end of this episode. We hope you've been inspired by what's possible when young people are trusted to lead. If you'd like to learn more about this program or how we're championing youth power, we'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep believing in youth power.